Peppa goes to hospital. Today, we are going to visit Pedro Pony in hospital, Madame Gazelle tells the class. Pedro's leg is broken and the doctors are mending it. Peppa has never been to the hospital before. Except when I was born, of course, Peppa says. I'm wearing my nurse's outfit, Susie Sheep says, because hospitals are very serious. But when the class arrives on the children's ward, the walls are full of colour. Ooh, they all say as they set off to find Pedro. Pedro is in bed with his leg in a plaster cast. Does it hurt? Zoe Zebra asks. It did at first, Pedro says, but not anymore. Do you want to draw on it? What's it like being in hospital? Asks Peppa. It's great, replies Pedro. Nurse gives me stickers and comes whenever I press this button. Another nurse comes over with a trolley. Lunchtime, she says. Spaghetti and sponge pudding, please, says Pedro. Wow, you get to eat in bed, gasps Peppa. Dr. Brown Bear visits Pedro. You're nearly better and ready to go home. The bell rings. Visiting time has ended. Get well soon, wave the children. A few days later, Pedro is back. Where is your plaster cast? Ask his friends. My leg is all better. It's a super leg now, Pedro says. Thank you for visiting me in hospital. The end. Peppa Pig. Happy holidays. Mummy Pig is packing to go on holiday. She doesn't want to forget anything important. Some holidays are far away. It can be tricky to find your way around. There is always lots to do on holiday. Peppa likes sightseeing.
Wow! Pizza!
Daddy Pig likes trying new foods. And George likes sleeping in interesting places. The end. First words with Peppa Pig. Level 1. The traffic jam. Meet Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Granny Pig, and Grandpa Pig. Learn. For, go, here, is, not, said, the, where. Read. House, traffic jam, car, potatoes. Look, potatoes for lunch, potatoes for Peppa, George, Daddy and Mummy Pig, said Grandpa Pig. Where is Peppa? She is not here yet, said Granny Pig. Peppa is not at Granny Pig's house yet.
Peppa is in the car. The car is in a traffic jam. "Go, cars, go," said Daddy Pig. The cars sat still.
Oh no!
"In you go," said Grandpa Pig to the potatoes. "Lunch for us all." "Where is Peppa?" said Granny Pig. "We can go here to get to Granny Pig's house," said Daddy Pig. "Where is Granny Pig's house?" said Mummy Pig. "It's not here," said Peppa. "It is not," said Daddy Pig. "Where can we go next?" said Peppa. "Granny Pig's house is not here," said Mummy Pig. "It is not," said Daddy Pig. "We cannot get to Granny Pig's house," said Peppa. "The car is back in the traffic jam. It is at the back." "Granny Pig's house is not here," said Mummy Pig. "It is not. I can ring Granny Pig," said Daddy Pig. "Here is lunch. Where is Peppa?" said Grandpa Pig. "She is not here. The car is in a traffic jam. It is at the back," said Granny Pig. "We can go too, Peppa," said Grandpa Pig.
Hooray!
Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig go to find Peppa. "Here is Peppa," said Granny Pig. "And the potatoes," said Grandpa Pig. "Yum," said Daddy Pig. "Potatoes for us all," said Grandpa Pig. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Car Ride. It's a lovely sunny day. Peppa and her family are going for a drive. Peppa and George love their red car. The car is making funny noises. They must take it to Grandad Dog's garage to be mended.
Wow!
Grandad Dog lends them a new blue car.
Hooray!
It has lots of different buttons. One of the buttons folds the roof down.
Wow!
Oh dear, it's starting to rain. Daddy Pig cannot find the button to close the roof and sprays himself with water. Peppa and George think this is very funny. Hooray! Grandad Dog has mended the red car. The new car was fun, but Peppa likes her old car the best. The end. Peppa Pig, Emily Elephant. This is Peppa's friend Emily Elephant.
Hooray!
Emily is very talented.
Wow!
Emily knows how to play the recorder. "You can play," says Peppa, "and I can dance." Emily has a long trunk. She uses it to reach up high. "I can catch the basketball," shouts Emily.
Hooray!
"I like having you on my team," says Peppa. When Emily wants to see Peppa, all she has to do is give her a call. "Wow!" cries Peppa. "That was loud!" Sometimes Peppa goes out with Emily and her little brother Edmund. We're going walking today, says Emily. It's called hiking, says Edmund. Edmund is a bit of a clever clogs. Peppa has lots of fun with her friend Emily. When they first met, Emily was a little shy. But she is definitely not shy anymore.
Hooray!
Peppa loves Emily Elephant. Everyone loves Emily Elephant. The end. Learn with Peppa Pig. Stop that balloon. Peppa Pig and George are out with Granny and Grandpa Pig. They see Miss Rabbit selling bright balloons from her cart. Granny Pig gets a green balloon for George.
Wow!
She explains that he must keep a tight grip on it. But George lets go. And the green balloon floats off. Grandpa Pig grabs the string. George loves his green balloon. Polly Parrot likes a balloon too. Balloon! George soon forgets to grip his green balloon. He points to the trailing string as the balloon floats up the stairs.
Oh no!
Granny Pig groans when she sees the balloon float out of the attic. She yells, "Stop that balloon!" George starts to wail. Then they hear a screech from upstairs. Polly flaps her wings and sweeps into the sky. Will her flight bring back the balloon? Polly swoops back down with the balloon. George is delighted. George is afraid to let go of his balloon now. Daddy Pig fixes the smooth string to his arm. That will stop it floating off. Grandpa Pig exclaims, "Unless George floats off too!" The end. Learn with Peppa Pig. Level 4. Fire and Rescue. Mummy Pig fights fires in her free time. She has invited Peppa Pig and George to visit the fire department.
Wow!
"I bet there will not even be one fire today," says Daddy Pig. "Don't be rude," Mummy Pig says. When they arrive, Mummy Pig takes Peppa and George inside. They both want to see the fire truck. Miss Rabbit points at the hose. "That squirts water," she explains. "Wow!" Peppa and George go to the control room. Miss Rabbit is the fire chief.
Wow!
She starts to explain. "We might have to dash off if..." Ring, ring. "Hello?" says Miss Rabbit. "Fire!" shrieks Daddy Pig. "Big flames! Clouds of smoke!
Oh, no.
Help! I hope they save us soon!" The fire crew is quick to respond. They slide down the pole. "Hop in, Peppa and George," Mummy Pig cries. "You are going to ride in a fire truck." Mummies to the rescue! They drive at top speed.
Wow!
As they rush over to Peppa's house. The sirens are so loud. Peppa thinks her mummy is as brave as a lion. "Maybe I will be a firefighter when I am older." They arrive at Peppa's home and run into the garden with the hose. The barbecue is in flames. Oh, no. "Stand back, daddies!" shouts Mrs. Sheep. "We will soon put this blaze out." The fire is out. "What a relief," Daddy Pig says. "You saved the day. You are all amazing." Miss Rabbit smiles. "Being safe is the most important thing." "Next time, we will keep Daddy Pig away from the barbecue," jokes Mummy Pig. "Look at all this mud on the lawn," says Peppa. "It's time for some fun." The end. Learn with Peppa Pig, the wonderful circus show. Peppa Pig and her friends visited Granny and Grandpa Pig. "Wow," said Peppa. "A circus tent. Please can we put on a show?" A ripple of excitement went through the group. "A show?" said Emily Elephant. "I'll have to practice my juggling." "You can borrow some dressing up things," said Granny Pig. "I'll be the clown," said Pedro Pony. "I'm really funny." "Our show will be full of magic and wonder," Peppa decided. "And danger," added Danny Dog. "I'll be the host," said Peppa. "I have loads of energy." She picked up the top hat. "And I can show off my amazing strength," said Danny Dog. Peppa giggled. "Those spotty trunks suit you." The tent was filled with everyone's relatives. There was quite a noise. Peppa stood in the middle of the circus ring.
Wow.
"Ladies and gentlemen," she bellowed, "welcome to our dazzling circus show. We will collect money for charity at the end."
Hooray!
"First up," said Peppa, "I give you the incredible Candy Cat.
Wow.
He will take a flying jump through this hoop." Candy leapt smoothly through the hoop. The crowd went wild. Candy curtsied. "Next up are the boys on bikes," cried Peppa. The boys whizzed around in circles. Their pedals and wheels were a blur.
Hooray!
George got a bit too excited. He swerved to avoid hitting Peppa. "Phew!" Peppa sighed. "Now for something impressive," said Peppa. "Danny Dog will lift me up." "You are not very heavy, Peppa," Danny whispered. "Shh!" replied Peppa. "Try to look like it's a struggle." Danny groaned loudly. "Well done, Daddy!" shouted Grandad Dog. "Next, Emily Elephant will juggle," Peppa said. "This is very tricky," Emily explained. "The key is to try to concentrate."
Wow.
Emily began to throw 2 potatoes and an egg above her head. Peppa held her breath. Emily's act was a success. Pedro closed the show with his clown act. Everyone chuckled as he covered him with confetti. Then Pedro used his bucket to collect lots of money for charity.
Hooray!
It was a triumph! We loved it! Shouted the crowd.
Hooray!
You all deserve medals! The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Dinosaur Party. Peppa and George were visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. "Grandpa," cheered Peppa. "Hello, Peppa. Hello, George," said Grandpa Pig. "Dinosaur! Said George, roaring. "And hello to you too, Mr. Dinosaur," said Grandpa Pig, chuckling. Suddenly there was a roar. "Roar! Ah!" shouted Grandpa Pig, leaping up into the air. Granny Pig was dressed as a dinosaur. "My goodness, Granny Pig," said Grandpa Pig, "you gave me a shock." "Sorry," said Granny Pig. "I'm having a dinosaur day today." "Dinosaur." Granny Pig explained that her friends were coming round to pretend it was the time of the dinosaurs. "It's called a historical reenactment," she said. "Sounds like a party," said Grandpa Pig. "It's not a party," said Granny Pig. "It's very serious. I am dressed as a Tyrannosaurus." She gave Peppa and George their costumes. "Peppa is an Allosaurus and George is a Stegosaurus."
Wow!
Just then, Grandad Dog arrived in his tow truck. "Rrr," he growled. "Hello, everyone." "What are you supposed to be?" asked Grandpa Pig. "I'm a Triceratops," said Grandad Dog proudly. Peppa and George looked at the big purple dinosaur on the back of the tow truck and wondered what it was. The purple dinosaur rose up into the air. "Hello," said Granny Sheep and Granny Wolf from underneath it. "Grrr!" "Ah," said Grandpa Pig, "a Brontosaurus." "Actually," said Granny Pig, "this is an Apatosaurus." "Wonderful," said Grandpa Pig. "I'll pop the kettle on." Dinosaurs followed Granny Pig to the back garden. "This is how the world looked a long time ago, when there were dinosaurs," she told them. "Let's pretend we were there," said Grandad Dog. "What do we do?" asked Peppa. "Stomp and roar," said Grandad Dog. "I see the party started," said Grandpa Pig, bringing out the tea. "It's not a party," said Granny Pig. Grampy Rabbit arrived. "Hello!" he shouted. "Sorry I'm late." "Why are you dressed as a caveman?" asked Granny Pig. "Dinosaurs and cavemen go well together," replied Grampy Rabbit. Granny Pig said, "Well, actually they didn't live at the same time." But Grampy Rabbit wasn't listening. "I'm good at being a caveman," he said. "I hope you don't mind," continued Grampy Rabbit, "but I invited my daughter." Everyone felt the ground beneath them begin to shake. "Hello!" Miss Rabbit shouted down from the top of a gigantic robot dragon. Thump! dragon nearly knocked Granny and Grandpa Pig's house over. Oops, sorry, cried Mrs. Rabbit. It's a bit hard to control this thing. That's a dragon, said Granny Pig, not a dinosaur. Grandpa Pig watched his garden shake with the stomping. Didn't the dinosaurs die out at some point? He grumbled. Around 66 million years ago, when the world was hit by an asteroid, said Granny Pig. What's an asteroid? Asked Peppa. A huge ball of rock floating through space, explained Grandad Dog. I wonder where we could get an asteroid from, said Granny Pig. Just then, Mr. Fox arrived.
Hooray!
Granny Pig, Peppa and George went to meet him. Hello, said Mr. Fox. I heard you were having a dinosaur party, and I thought I might be able to sell you something. I've got rubber pterodactyls, nodding herbivores. We need an asteroid, said Granny Pig. It's like a very big ball, added Peppa. Mr. Fox thought for a moment. I've got just the thing, he said, getting a deflated ball out from the back of his van. A beach ball? Asked Peppa. It's a giant beach ball, announced Mr. Fox as he started to inflate it. You wait and see. Ooh, said Peppa. It is giant. Perfect, said Granny Pig once the beach ball was fully inflated. This will be an excellent asteroid. The asteroid bounced past Granny and Grandpa Pig's house and down the hill to the garden full of dinosaurs. Peppa and George raced after it as fast as they could, followed by Granny Pig and Mr. Fox. The asteroid bounced all around the garden, bumping into the dinosaurs and even the dragon. Mr. Fox turned to Granny Pig. You've got people in fancy dress, palm trees and a beach ball, he said. This is an amazing beach party. It's not a party, said Granny Pig. Mr. Fox had an idea and went back to his van. He came back with 2 big speakers on wheels. You can't have a beach party without music, he said. This is the best party ever, Granny, said Peppa. She danced and sang a song. Do the stomp, do the stomp, do the roar, do the dinosaur roar. Stomp, 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 roar, roar, roar. Do the dinosaur stomp, stomp, roar. Everyone had a fantastic time stomping and roaring to the music. Peppa loves dinosaur parties. Everyone loves dinosaur parties. It's not a party. The end. Learn with Peppa Pig. Level 4. The Paper Plane Contest. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, and Daddy Pig was reading his newspaper on the lawn. Peppa Pig asked, "Can we have some of your newspaper?" He handed some over. Peppa and George exploded into the house with their sheets of paper. Mummy Pig helped them make the paper into planes. "Let's go and play with the planes." Mummy Pig threw her plane first. It flew all the way to the field beyond the garden. "We should have a contest. If your plane flies the furthest, you win a prize." Peppa pretended to be a pilot. Her plane glided into the field, but George's crashed like a stone into the duck pond. George was silent. Peppa shrieked, "Mine flew furthest, I win!" George burst into tears. He wanted to win too. Daddy Pig went inside. He looked all over the room, crawled under the desk and looked in his briefcase. "I was sure I saw it in here." Aha! Peppa and George saw a big blue sheet behind the printer.
Wow.
It would make the biggest plane yet. They took it to Mummy Pig. She was the chief plane maker. Peppa and George took their new plane to Daddy Pig with pride. "I'm amazed," he said. "I hope it glides well," Peppa said. Daddy Pig explained, "Now this plane belongs to all of us. We are not competing, so we all win." Peppa nodded. The plane flew into the clouds and then landed in the field. Peppa and George both smiled and clapped. They flew paper planes for the rest of the day. They all counted to 3 and threw their planes. They all counted to 3 and threw their planes. It was fun to win, but gliding lots of planes at the same time was even better. The end. Learn with Peppa Pig. George and the Dinobot. George's best toy was Mr. Dinosaur. But one day, Mr. Dinosaur's tail broke in half. Mommy and Daddy Pig searched everywhere, but they could not find the missing piece. Oh no! George was very upset. "You can look after Teddy if you like," said Peppa helpfully. "No," said George miserably. Peppa found a brochure about a place called Dinosaur Castle.
Wow.
"A trip there would make George feel better," she said. "It's worth a try," said Mummy Pig. George stared around the castle's spectacular hall. He gasped, "Dinosaurs!" The most amazing feature of Dinosaur Castle was a mechanical creature called Dinobot. It had a big button on its stomach. When George switched it on, Dinobot wriggled its arms and legs, then it blasted out an awful growling noise. Poor George was scared when he heard it. "Calm down, George," said Peppa. She made Dinobot pause. "See, Dinobot is not real." "No!" shouted George. He bustled up to Dinobot and pushed the button. George giggled. He bared his teeth and growled back at Dinobot. He was not scared now. Daddy Pig said that Peppa and George could each choose a toy to take home. Peppa searched the shop and chose a little bear. George chose a toy Dinobot. George played with Dinobot all afternoon. At bath time, George wanted to put Dinobot in the water. "Careful, George," said Mummy Pig. "Dinobot will stop working if he gets wet. He's not waterproof like Mr. Dinosaur." George was disappointed. Poor George. Later that night, Peppa and George were fast asleep, but suddenly they heard a loud noise. It was Dinobot. He was growling and twitching all by himself. Something was wrong with his batteries. "Oh no! I think I'll take Dinobot to have a snooze somewhere else," said Daddy Pig. Early next morning, George felt even worse. Now both of his dinosaurs were broken. But while they were playing outdoors, Peppa spotted something green under a bush. "What could this be?" she asked. She returned clutching the original Mr. Dinosaur's tail. "Wonderful," declared Mummy Pig. "It shouldn't be difficult to repair him." Daddy Pig fixed the tail with a quick flick of his wrist. "Hooray!" yelled George joyfully. He gave Mr. Dinosaur a hug and a squeeze. The original Mr. Dinosaur was the best toy in the world. The end. Learn with Peppa Pig, Level 5, Going Nowhere. Today Peppa Pig's family are travelling to a castle. Peppa wants to know if the castle is haunted. Daddy Pig stares at the castle brochure. He looks a bit worried. "I don't think so." Peppa and George race through the castle doorway. "We are going to search for the creatures that haunt this castle and capture it," Peppa shouts hopefully. "The castle is not haunted, Peppa," Mummy Pig calls after them. Everyone ventures to the top of the castle's tall tower. Peppa and George gaze out over the water and sniff the salty sea air. "Listen, what's all that noise?" asked Peppa. Daddy Pig sighs. "It's the big August boat race. We're going to miss it." "Don't worry," says Mummy Pig. "We can use the castle telescope to watch the race from here. Grandpa Pig won the prize trophy last year." "I can see Captain Dog preparing for the race," says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig lifts Peppa up to watch the scene. "All the boats are moored, but I can see some sailors talking. They're also wearing matching hats," says Peppa. Daddy Pig has another look. The competitors have pulled up their anchors. The race is almost ready to start. "Where do the boats race to?" asks Peppa. "They travel past the lighthouse and back," says Mummy Pig. "The boats will need to work hard to catch any wind in their sails today. Without a breeze, they'll be going nowhere." Mummy Pig is right. The boats jostle in the water, but not one of them goes forward. "Oh no!" Just then, 3 loud blasts from a whistle echo across the water. "Has something gone wrong?" Peppa gasps. "The race has been paused because there's no wind," says Mummy Pig. "Oh no!" The race is cancelled. But some of the sailors still want to zoom past the lighthouse, so Grampy Rabbit pulls them along behind his super-fast hovercraft. Peppa watches from the castle as they tear past the rocks.
I hope they don't get shipwrecked.
Suddenly they hear a high-pitched sound.
Help! The castle really is haunted!
Peppa wails. Mummy Pig holds up her telephone and laughs. It's just Grandpa Pig calling. Mummy Pig asks Grandpa Pig about why he didn't take part in the race.
I checked the weather forecast last night. It said there would be no wind, so it wasn't worth bothering. Granny Pig and I had a snooze in the garden instead.
The end. Learn with Peppa Pig Level 5. Who's moving in? Daddy Pig is an architect, which means he designs houses. First he draws the design on his board, then he makes a little model to show people how it will look. Peppa Pig sees a model house near Daddy Pig's keyboard. Daddy Pig reveals that he is designing a house for their new neighbours. Peppa wants to know more about who's moving in. Daddy Pig says he'll tell her once the house is ready.
Is this a cottage for fairies?
Daddy Pig needs to have a discussion about the new house with Mr. Bull. They look at pages of plans and measure the land. Then Daddy Pig spies a strange addition to his design. What's this symbol? Peppa smiles.
It's a swing, Daddy. Every house needs one of those.
Daddy Pig puts on a severe expression. Peppa, you must not interfere with my work. There is lots of action at the construction site. Mr. Bull's crew are busy digging the foundations for the house and pouring cement. Peppa is still bursting to know who will move in. Are they nice? Have they got any children?
Digger.
Daddy Pig chuckles. Be patient, Peppa. The mystery of the new neighbours makes Peppa feel more excited every day. Peppa and George love going to the construction site. Mr. Bull gives them permission to help, so long as they obey his special instructions.
This is a heavyweight.
You must always pay attention to what you are doing. You don't want to break any bones. Every day, the house grows larger.
Wow.
And the walls climb higher. And every day, Peppa urges Daddy Pig to tell her who will live there. Sorry, Peppa, that's top secret information.
Dinosaur.
After 8 weeks, the work is complete. Peppa thinks it looks like a very large mansion. Before the new people move in, Mr. Rabbit takes a tour around the house to judge their work. The house has passed my inspection. All the measurements are correct, and the walls are straight. Well done.
And look, here comes Mr. Labrador to drop the swing into position.
They wave the crew off, then Daddy Pig turns to Peppa and says, This house was not made of straw or sticks. Who could not blow down a little piggy's house made of bricks? Peppa scratches her forehead and thinks hard. I know, a wolf. Here come the wolf family, driving a van with all their possessions on board. What a beautiful, spacious house, cries Mrs. Wolf. Daddy Pig says, Of course, as you can see, it's made from bricks, so you won't be able to blow it down. Wendy Wolf says, Hey, I adore this swing.
Hooray!
That was my decision, says Peppa proudly. That is so thoughtful, cheers Wendy. Shall I push you and pull you? Peppa laughs with her new friend and replies, No, huff and puff me. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa and the New Baby. One day, when Peppa was only little, Granny and Grandpa Pig came to babysit. Gangy eek, cried Peppa. She loved it when Granny and Grandpa Pig looked after her. They had so much fun. Playing with all the toys, eating yummy food, and reading lots of stories. Okay, said Peppa, giving her favourite book to Grandpa Pig. Peace. At bedtime, Granny Pig told Peppa she was going to have a little brother soon.
Hooray!
And being a big sister is a very important job, added Grandpa Pig. Peppa was very excited to be a big sister.
Wow!
That night, she dreamed of all the fun things she would do with the new baby. The next morning, Mummy and Daddy Pig arrived home with a little baby. Hello, Peppa, said Mummy Pig, smiling. This is your new baby brother, George. Peppa looked at George and giggled. Baby George, she said proudly. Then she toddled off. When Peppa came back, she had her ball with her. She bounced it towards George. But baby George didn't move. He just stayed still. That's very lovely of you, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. But baby George is a bit too little to play with a ball. Oh, said Peppa. Peppa went to the kitchen and came back with a banana. She held it out to George. Nana, she said. But baby George didn't take the banana. That's very sweet of you, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. But I'm afraid baby George is a bit too little to eat a banana. Oh, said Peppa. Peppa held her cup out to baby George. Drink! But baby George didn't take the cup. That's very kind, Peppa, said Granny Pig. But baby George is a bit too little for your water cup. Peppa wondered what big sisters did to help their baby brothers. Cuddle, she said, holding her arms out. I'm sure George would love a cuddle from his big sister, said Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig gently laid baby George on Peppa's lap. She looked at him. If he couldn't play, eat, or drink water, what could her baby brother do? Baby George burped. Burp. Peppa giggled. Hee. George was very funny. Story, Peppa asked George. Great idea, Peppa, said Grandpa Pig. Why don't you choose one for him? Peppa found a book about dinosaurs and pretended to read it to George. Peppa, 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 Dinosaur. Arr! She closed the book. Again? What a lovely story, said Daddy Pig. Isn't your big sister the best ever, George? Burp! George burped. Peppa giggled. Hee. George was the best baby ever. Peppa loves baby George. Everyone loves baby George.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.